I'm Jerry Johnson, General Manager and CEO at the Washington Suburban Sanitary Commission.
So tell us what you were here for today.
Well, I was invited here today to talk about some of the innovations and more creative things that we're doing to, one, save energy, secondly, to improve our facilities, and to generally continue to serve the public.
So when was the first time you testified in Congress?
So, it's been some time ago. I don't really remember when the first time I was invited, but it's always a pleasure and a challenge because it provides an opportunity to speak directly to the legislators and the people who are behind the scenes and making the rules and assisting us in doing the things that we have to do to progress as an organization.
So you were here on behalf of WSCC. You've also testified in your prior positions or testified in associations. What kinds of roles have you played?
Well, I've done testimony on behalf of some of the interest groups and organizations. I've done testimony when I was working here in D.C., doing some other things, and so it's been always interesting and always a bit of a challenge.
What are some of the best ways that people who do work in the water field or are involved as a volunteer with an organization, how can they prepare for testifying in Congress?
Well, first, consulting with subject matter experts. Obviously, we don't know all of the answers to all of the issues. Making sure that we have as much information as we can get from the staff that's going to be behind the scenes working on putting these hearings together to understand the focus of the legislators and what they're looking for, and that's pretty much it. And sitting down and talking about those issues that are very important to us on a daily basis. And hopefully, in the course of that discussion, in addition to the things that they express interest in, you can also get some of the things out there that you want to get out there, like inviting them to come and visit your facilities so that they can see on the ground what's going on and the kind of intricacies that are involved in the day-to-day operation and maintenance of our facilities.
Now, you were there with several other water utility leaders, four water utility leaders. It seemed to be less about particular legislation and more generally raising awareness of the members of Congress. Talk about the difference between when you come talk to Congress in testimony on the bill versus giving background and using your expertise as a general manager.
Well, obviously, there's a great deal more latitude when coming to do a more generalized presentation and focusing on issues that the legislators have interest in. When focusing on a piece of legislation, you obviously have to do research, understand the legislation, understand its impact on your facilities and your operation, and be able to convey any concerns or support that you might have for whatever piece of legislation might be presented.
Now you get to testify a fair bit since your water utility is right in the nation's capital's backyard, just across the border. But there are obviously water utility leaders all over the country, and as water issues are more coming to the surface, what would you recommend to other water utility leaders if they have a chance to testify, how they can get more involved, not just with testimony, but generally following what's going on in Congress and actually coming to Capitol Hill?
Well, the first thing is following what's going on the Hill and understanding the legislation, understanding what's happening within the regulatory agencies and the things that they're doing, because that has a direct impact on you. It's not all, obviously not all legislation. And then working with your fellow water and wastewater utilities around the country, I think that's very important because those things have a similar impact on them, and everybody wants to convey the concern and issue. Working singularly is very, very difficult to get things done. When you come together as a group and look at these issues from a common vantage point, then it brings you a greater sense of empowerment, a greater sense of the ability to influence what's going on with the legislation or regulatory regime, and it's just a much more effective approach. So there are several national organizations that are focused on this thing, gather information on a regular basis, act as a clearinghouse, if you would, of a variety of information, take positions on issues, and they can reach out and pick from the industry the people who have specific areas of expertise that might be able to assist in dealing with the issue.
Thank you very much.